Hey YouTube, we are at Rock Run, Pennsylvania in a side-by-side, a Can-Am, and we are about to do Gobbler Ridge. So we will see you there shortly. So this is where Gobbler Ridge is. It's in the bottom left-hand part of the map. And I'll tell you ahead of time before you get upset and about the video. Gobbler Ridge apparently has recently been graded. Meaning like that's where the good stuff was, like where those rocks are. So we had kind of expectation levels that were pretty high of this trail, because they've done this trail before and it was pretty gnarly and awesome. And when you look at the footage here, you're gonna see it's really ridiculously easy now. But we wanted to include this just so you could see what Gobbler's Ridge now looks like. So anyway, we are going to be headed through Gobbler Ridge to a Scenic Overlook, and Scenic Overlook will be near the end of the video. And then after we get to the Scenic Overlook, we're basically just going to head back to the campground. There'll be another trail. I forgot what the name of it. We'll see when we get there. A side trail that we took. So I'm sorry that Gobbler Ridge is not as epic as everybody kind of remembers it being. My guesstimate is when they do stuff like this where they grade these trails, either people were getting stuck in here so badly that it was becoming a legal issue, or maybe something really bad happened, somebody died or something, or got severely injured, and so then they had to make it so it was no longer a liability. So that right turn there that we just passed was actually where we were planning on turning, but the problem that we have is that because they went through and graded this trail so much, it's hard to really figure out where we are. So I am filming this in a 360-degree camera, and I just kind of stuck it out the window just so you can get an idea of some of the different things you can do with it. Now obviously what we're posting to YouTube is not in the 360-degree format. We went through and reframed it back to 1080p, so it would be just a regular movie, instead of being one where you had to actually move your phone around to watch or use a mouse. So we are headed to a Scenic Overlook on Gobbler Ridge, and like I mentioned already, the trail has been significantly nerfed down to what was used to be a kind of a fun, challenging trail, is what I'm told, into this kind of super easy green trail. It's marked blue on the map, but obviously what we went over was green. So I guess that just means that people need to get in there and tear it up. When I say tear it up, I mean just take their side-by-side through it a lot. So here we are. This is where we've discovered that we missed the spot, and we're turning around to go find the entrance. So this is Long Road Trail Nexus, or Long Road, I guess. We will pass this in about 10 minutes when we go around the park. So you'll see that kind of dirt pile on our left shortly. So since you've already seen this footage, I sped it up even more just to get us through this and caught back up to where we missed the turn. But the weather was perfect. We were out here in a t-shirt, and it wasn't really hot and it wasn't really cold. I mean, it was perfect weather, and it wasn't dusty, and everything was just the right amount of water on the trail. It was like the perfect day for taking the side-by-side out, it felt like. And the only thing at all that was not perfect about it was the fact that I was heavily hungover. And I was really kind of regretting I had drunk so much alcohol the night before. And I didn't really feel like I had drunk as much as I did. I just kind of overdrank a little bit. And now I know, like don't do heavy drinking before the night before you get in a side-by-side. I guess that's kind of obvious, right? So this is still the Gobbler Trail. Gobbler Ridge, I think, is the name of this trail. This is an area of it that has not been graded, or doesn't look like it's been graded. But the most interesting areas of it we did see had been kind of turned into green. So we are headed out to a Scenic Overlook. The Scenic Overlook that you'll see is basically on the edge of a pole line. A pole line being a like utility poles that have been cut through the forest with an access road. We're not going to go down the access road, but that's essentially where it is. If you're from Virginia, because I know I have a lot of Virginia subscribers, this is kind of like what you see when you're at Second Mountain. There's a pole line along Second Mountain also, which is one of the trails. It's very close to Flagpole Knob, one of the most probably popular trails in Northern Virginia. And unfortunately, so I would say that I think that this side-by-side is doing excellent because I mean we have not had anything even slightly challenge the side-by-side. But at the same time, I don't actually truly know how difficult this stuff is that we're doing, like in comparison to other things, because I have so much limited experience in side-by-sides. We ran into one when we were in Las Vegas, and there's like 4 or 5 videos that we have posted of us in Logandale, Las Vegas, or Logandale, Nevada, which is outside of Las Vegas. And we ran into one for about a week at Windrock Park, which is kind of like the mecca of one of the meccas of the East Coast to go to. Just in general, for Jeeps, side-by-sides, ATVs, everything, they kind of do it all. It's very, very massive, and that's Tennessee. But outside of those 2 experiences, and in both experiences we were doing very much easier, non-challenging trails. So it's really hard for me to judge what specifically is difficult. I guess we'd have to get stuck before I would know that it was too much. So this is the Scenic Overlook right here. We're going to pull up here, and then I'll do a little walk around of the machines so you can see them. And I'll show you on the map where we're at also. So this is the Scenic Overlook right here where it's at. It's in the bottom left corner. And these are the machines that we're using. And the left one is a Polaris. That one, the yellow one is a Can-Am, and the white one is a Polaris Turbo. And I'm sure that some of the subscribers and stuff, people who see these videos, will know exactly which ones these are, like model-wise and everything. But they seem like very excellent units. So the trail that we're on is still Gobbler Ridge. We have not turned off the trail. So now I have an appreciation on why on the ATV and UTV trails, why you see that they crown the trails a little bit, where the edges kind of go up a little bit. It really kind of makes it a lot funner. But I guess they also do it so you don't get like thrown off the curve, so you can kind of go a little bit quicker too. And I would have to say on Gobbler Trail, with at least when we went through it, the latter half of it was the better half. But they were saying like that the front part was actually probably the better part before the park went through and graded that portion of it. And I'm sure that somebody will have a story behind like why they did that. But you can see there's a pole line right there. But you can see these very scenic and relaxing views from this park. And this specifically is a side-by-side trail that we're on. It's not a Jeep trail, but it does kind of give you an idea of what the scenery is like and how the trails are and such at Rock Run. So probably the next time we go to Rock Run, probably we'll take the Jeep out so we can get a different kind of viewpoint of the park to get a different set of footage. But it's so rare that we get the opportunity to ride in a side-by-side or a ATV that I pretty much almost always take the opportunity when it's present, just because it's just so fun to do something a little different. It's always fun to go to a new park also, obviously. So from here on out, I know we're there's still another 5 minutes on video, but you're gonna see it's a big red line that goes basically almost straight back to the campground. A very large portion of the rest of the video is going to be these kind of open areas, and this would be the area where Jeeps could go, but there are Jeep specific trails. And I have sped all this up significantly. I think this is 4x, maybe even 8x speed, just to try to get us through this kind of quicker. So this is Long Run. We are the bottom part of the map, if you didn't notice, and we are headed up the map, up this area. And like I said, we are sped up, so we are not going this fast, even though it looks like we are going ridiculously fast. So what's nice is they have these large access roads to get around the park, so that makes it so it's not so bad to get around. And like I was saying, from where we started at to get all the way back to the campground, it's probably a good 20 or 30 minutes. It's pretty large, and I know that to get from say the edge of part of AOA to the center is also probably the same distance, and then you have the whole other side of the park. I know Windrock is the same way, but I'm just saying that this park is pretty big, and this is a coal haul road that we're on, or at least I think it is. I wasn't 100% sure. I know which line it is on the map. The little blue box I showed you on the map, I know is correct. I'm just not 1,000% sure if that portion of it is actually what it's named, because the way the names are on the map. But I'm thinking this is a coal haul road, name-wise. We passed that yellow dump truck. That was where the black trail was that we went up. There's a garage here. The garage is actually on the map. So we're going to pull off and do Eastern Flats Road. This is a green trail. It's the little blue line I marked on the map. But when I had drawn the map, because I actually drew the map, believe it or not, the mouse over or whatever of our path, I had missed the fact that we had done this at the very end. So this is a little easy peasy green trail. And there was, I think if I remember right, a little mud hole coming up here on the left that he was saying used to be really kind of crazy. However, what used to be, super crazy was bone dry, so it wasn't crazy at all. And I'm looking for the spot, and I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not, but I think it was on the left, if my memory serves me right. So you can I definitely have much more of appreciation of the colors at Rock Run now for the side-by-sides. The greens are flat and they're wider. You don't really need to even try to dodge trees. The blues seem narrower, and they have lots of kind of sharp turns where if you don't turn quick enough, you'll hit a tree, because there'll be trees on both sides of the trail, where on the green trails it seems much wider and easier. Almost to the point that you can put two of them side by side, or you can pass another side by side. There's a spot right here. This spot right here that is completely bone dry on the left, he said what was saying was pretty nasty before. And like I was saying, I now know I should probably clean the camera more after watching this footage, like a lot more. Every time we go through the water, probably I should clean the camera. When I was looking at it on the monitor on the back of the GoPro when we were filming this, I did not notice that there was all this water on the camera, believe it or not. So we're back on the Coal Hall Road, and we're going to head back to the campground. So thank you, and please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys.